Hello YouTube and welcome to another episode of The Cloudy Vape. In this video we're going to be talking about the Aqua version 2 1.1 clone from Angelcigs. I picked up this device from Angelcigs for review, so let's dive down and check it out. Alright, so let's start with the unboxing of this device. Here is the Angelcigs logo. You have your basic box. Let's go ahead and take it apart and check it out. Alright, so first thing you see three different pieces. This is your main device with the plastic tank on it. This is a replacement metal tank. It's a stainless steel, 304 stainless steel. All of the metal in here is 304 stainless steel. And over here is your actual RDA cap to convert it into an RDA. And we'll get into that later, but let's go ahead and look at the actual tank. And even before we look at the tank, let's look at the little extra goodies. So, as always, you have your some O-rings and some screws. You also have an adapter for a hybrid style connector. I believe one of these screws off the airflow so you can make it single coil mode. Alright, so here is the tank. I'll go ahead and take off this plastic tank right here. Alright, so it comes apart. This little part right here actually pops out, if I can get it to pop out, and that's what you put in your stainless steel part, your replacement tank. If you want to use a stainless steel one, you just pop this in. And yeah, so that's how that seals off. Very nice machining on this, very smooth. You have threading right here that threads down into the deck and the actual the shaft. So this is also O-ring right here. You got a little your connector for your 510 connector for your drip tip, and yeah. So let's look at this now. This basically just pops in here, and then that's how you screw it down like that. So I'm going to set this tank aside. So let's look at this. This is a kind of shell that goes over the deck, and that unscrews. And I actually have a build in here right now for you guys to look at. I believe it's just some 26 gauge Canthal right now. So let's look at this. So here is your kind of where your juice kind of flows from the tank. Those 4 holes are where they drop down in. This is where the that little top part I was talking about connects for your chimney. Kind of very smooth inside. I'm not really feeling anything kind of sharp in here. Smooth threads in there. So yeah, let's go ahead and look at the deck and the rest of it. Alright, so here is the deck. You have just a 2-post design. I believe this higher one is a positive post. If I'm wrong, go ahead, correct me. So that's should be your positive connection, your negative connection. It's a 2-post design, so it really doesn't matter. You have your coil hooked up in there. As you can see, I put some cotton in these channels just to kind of show you what I do to make it work. So if you just look at it like this, what you have is an airflow hole right there, if you see right by my finger, and on the other side you have an airflow hole right there. But the thing is, you only have one airflow coming in, so it splits the airflow. It goes right into the airflow and then comes up both of these holes. So that's kind of how your airflow works. I'll show you how to adjust it in a minute. So let's look at the rest of it. This threading is pretty nice. It is a little jagged, not extremely jagged, but I mean it does fit down, but because you have so much cotton, it's not so much the threads issue. It's more of just you have cotton down there, so you just have to make sure the cotton's not getting in the threads. One other thing to note on this, on these posts, you actually have multiple holes going in. You don't have one. If you see, you got probably I would say maybe 5 or 6 holes going in. So you can kind of position your coils however you want, and that kind of helps. If you can see, there's just holes going all the way around. So you have multiple options where to put the leads in when you're building, which is pretty nice. These screws snug down nice and tight. I haven't had anything break off, so that's nice. As far as this goes, this is where you, let me see if I can pop this off without ruining the build. Probably can't. Just like this, your 510 pops off, and this is where you would change out and put the hybrid connection in. I don't really use the hybrid connections much, so it's not a big deal. But you basically just pop this off, and then you pop on that other hybrid connection that comes with it, and that's really only for people who are using hybrid connections. The bottom is just simple. you don't really have anything going on. Just nice smooth bottom, very smooth, nice machining going on. This pin, like I said, is adjustable, and that's about it for the bottom. If you look up, yeah, so that's about it. And let's talk about this airflow now. Let me go ahead and get the other piece, and then we'll adjust the airflow. All right, so here is all the pieces, essentially all the pieces. You have your little top part right here where my finger is tapping. You have this is where your drip tip goes in. It also seals off the top part of the tank, and then if you see inside of there, it screws to the chimney right there. So this is your part that basically the juice comes down. I'm sure there's technical terms for it, but that's just your layman's terms. This screws in right here, and then once that's screwed in, you screw it onto your deck right here. So, and then this is actually where all the airflow is adjusted. It's a little rough getting in, but that's how you adjust your airflow. So if you see your airflow hole right here, the more you screw it down, and you think this would leak, but it actually doesn't leak because you have basically this top part is sealing off the juice, and the juice comes down nice and slow. I haven't had really any leaks coming out of this hole, so this is just how you adjust it. Very simple. Because about right, let's see, up right here, this is when it pops off. So it is nice and secure right when it gets to its largest airflow. Right there, it's secure. And then if you screw it down, you can tighten up that airflow a little bit more. But it's just, you know, subjective. Whatever you want the airflow to be, that's what it's going to be. So that's how you adjust the airflow. Really simple. You know, no issues there. So let's go ahead and real quick before we vape on this, I'm going to just show you the RDA sleeve, just so you can get a better idea of what that might look like. Alright, just so you know, there is, like I said, here is the stainless steel tank that actually goes when you're trying to build it as a tank. This is the sleeve that the little top part would pop in right there, and then it would secure down. And so I just want to let you know, this is not the RDA one. This is the sleeve. This isn't the dripper style, just so you can see it. So it's very simple. I'll go ahead and show you guys just for the sake of showing you. So this comes off. If you want to switch this out from the plastic to the metal, this comes off. This pops right back in, and then this part pops off like this. You have your little part, and then you just pop that in right there, just like that. Pop that in. Now once you pop this top part in, you just make sure it's kind of lined up, and then this bottom part will screw in nice and evenly. And what it'll do, it'll be a little snug because what you're doing is you're adjusting that O-ring right there. So just screw it down a little bit till it's snug, and then there you go. That's how you set up your steel tank, stainless steel tank, if you want to use a stainless steel tank. Sorry about the focus, but yeah, this is for the stainless steel tank. I personally like to use a plastic tank just so I know what's going on with the juice. But if you do want to use this, that is available. So that's how you do that. Going back to the dripper style sleeve, so here's the dripper style sleeve. It has an adjustable airflow on it, kind of a Cyclops airflow going on. It does have a single coil, and it has a dual coil option. If you look right here, I'll pop this out, single coil and dual coil option. It is a little weird though, because the 510 on the top, if I can pop this out, come on. The 510 on the top is actually kind of set to the side. I guess it works for what it needs to do, but it's set to the side, which is kind of weird. I guess it works for single coil. You know, if you put it right over your coil, that works. But in dual coil, it doesn't really, you know, you're not going to have that center air. But you know, it works decently. It's nice if somebody's, you know, into tanks and they want to try out dripping a little bit. I guess it's a good starter. So there we go. There's your adjustable airflow. Like I said, you have single coil mode and you have dual coil mode. If you see right here, this one would be your single coil because it's blocked off back here, and this would be your dual coil. You have two airflows open, and it is a pretty good. It's a pretty good open airflow. And when you tighten it up, it's you know, it restricts pretty well. So it's good to start out with. One other thing to mention on this, you have a little, I guess it's like an airflow control, but this would block off the airflow on the bottom of the tank. So if you see right here, you line this up, and what you can have is, you know, kind of like the plume veil has that, you know, from the bottom up type airflow in a dripper. That will do that. So this will pull air into both channels on the bottom and pull it up, and then you also have your airflow on the sides. So that's just one option. And then if you want to, you can close off that bottom airflow, and then just use the side airflows. So yeah, that's it's a good feature. So this is really good for somebody who is into tanks but wants to switch to dripping, or just every once in a while wants to drip just for fun or whatever. So very nice. As far as quality goes, very smooth. All of this quality is, you know, top-notch machining. No really sharp edges. Inside here, if you look, the connection on the bottom of the 510 right here, the 510 for the drip tip, it is a little sharp, but on the top it is not. I mean, you're never really going to get down in there. But I just wanted to mention that. A little sharp. Nothing really to be said about this. The airflow holes, very smooth. Even on the airflow control, very smooth. The only reason I do all of this, I tell you about all this quality, is especially with clones or replicas. I mean, the biggest thing is the quality. I want you to know if it's, you know, if it's a decent replica, if it's complete garbage. So that's why I go into so much detail about quality. Now that we talked about the quality of everything else, let's look how we fill it up real quick. So I've actually just tried, if you see there's some juice in here, I tried a little dropper, glass dropper, and then I also tried just a squeeze and drip bottle, and I can't really get it in there very well. So I'm actually using Suck My Mod's juice. So I'm weird. Okay, so I'm using this because it has a nice point to it, and don't tell him, but I saw on his video he did this, so I'm totally biting off of him right now. So you can just put that on one of the holes and just fill her up. Yep, that's filling up nice and easy. So you will need a needle tip, or just a sharper drip tip, sharper squeeze and drip bottle to get that in. Or if you have a glass dripper that has a small tip, you can always fit that in. But just a regular, a larger squeeze and drip didn't really work, and then also a larger glass dropper didn't really work. It kind of just flooded that a little bit. If you see, there's juice all around there. So that's what happened. And let me clean this juice out, put it on, and then vape on it a little bit. So in case you were wondering, that's sitting at about 0.6 ohms. It's a dual coil using 26 gauge Canthal, and I was vaping it at about 25 watts on the Sigelli 100. And I'm not going to go into detail on the single coil mode. If you really want to know more about the single coil mode, go over to Suck My Mod's channel. Check out his video on this, because he goes into more detail and he shows how he clogs off the other side when he blocks off, you know, the one of the airflow holes. So he'll go into more detail on that. Me personally, I'll run it at a dual coil. I will never run it at a single coil. Even if you pay me, I would not run it at a single coil. That's just my style. I enjoy dual coils, but he wanted to show you guys how the single coil works. So if you're into single coils, definitely go check out Suck My Mod's review of the Authentic. So you're not going to be blowing clouds like the Atlantis or like the Goblin or like the newer Orchids with the large airflow. You're definitely not going to be blowing huge plumes, but as you can see, very good vapor production. Very tasty on this this juice. This is the Huck Yeah. So very good, very tasty. I'm enjoying this very much. A few things I want to mention about the device when I got it. It tasted like machine oil. I washed it out. Like I said, usually when devices have machine oil on it, it's not a big deal to me, and I'll say this in the majority of my reviews. It's not a big deal to me because I wash it out. Alright, so we checked out the vapor production on the tank style. Let's look at it with the dripper sleeve on. You can line up the airflow, or you can shut off that bottom airflow. So let's go ahead and leave it open. And also we have both Cyclops airflow open on both sides. And I'm using the Atlantis drip tip because it doesn't come with the drip tip. So it's kind of wonky because you have a, you know, it's kind of set off to the side, but let's try it out, see what it looks like, see what the vapor production's like, and let's vape on it. It is definitely decent. So I just wanted to show you that, and so yeah, that is the dripper sleeve, and that is what you would, that's kind of what you would get if you would build about 0.6 ohms. The main thing I like about this is that it has so many options in the post as far as where you put your leads, and you don't have to bend things up too much. You can just get them nice and snug right in there and put put it in the whatever post hole you like for the build you're doing. If you're going to do a larger coil or smaller coil, it works out really well. So that's just a rundown of this. So I'm going to wrap up this review real quick. If you do want to know more about the single coil option in this, definitely go check out Suck My Mod's review. And if you have any more questions about this device, go ahead and comment in the comment section below or email me at cloudy.vape@gmail.com. Thanks for watching this video. If you liked it, please like it. And if you want to know more about this device, look in the description box below. I'll put a link to it. And if you like my videos in general, please subscribe. And as always, stay classy and keep vaping.